Mr. Long here. This is a screencast on evaluating logs. This is the set B questions, and again, this is going to go back to some of our rational exponent type of questions. Remember that the log is just an exponent. Okay, that's all it is. That's all it is. So here's our first example. Okay, so we've got a base of 1,296. The evaluated power is 6. And we need to figure out the exponent. So again, what exponent goes on 1296 to make 6? So the question is, will our exponent be bigger than 1 or smaller than 1? Okay, that's a really important question. So if this was 1296 and this was 1296, what exponent do you put on 1296 to make 1296? Well, it's 1, right? So, but if I want to make a number that's smaller than 1296, that's going to be smaller than 1. Not negative, because there's no division there, but not negative because it doesn't appear in the denominator, but smaller, so a fraction. That means we've got a rational exponent. Okay, a rational exponent. So again, what's the first thing we do every time? We try to make we call this the argument of the function, or the evaluated power of the log, make the bases, make it match the base. Okay, so 1296 here means 1296 here. So what exponent do I put on 1296 to make 6? Okay, to make 6. So let's go over to our chart. So I have a base of 1296 and I'm going to make 6. Okay, so I go out here, 1296. What do I do to get back to 6? Okay, to get back to 6, I have to take the fourth root. Okay, 1296, to get back to 6, I have to take the fourth root. So that means that 1296 equals 1296 to the 1/4 equals 6. Okay, so look at this now. Now the question is really easy. What exponent do I put on 1296 to make 1296 to the 1/4? Obviously, 1/4. Okay, you're done. What about this one, number 2? So now I have to do the logarithm of 1/28 to the base 28. So I have to get the bases the same. Okay, bases, well look at this, the bases are the same. Okay, the bases are the same. Now because of the spreadsheet, like I can't just put a 1 there. I'm going to have to put 1 divided by 1. Okay, and notice the space here. I probably should have had a little something here with the divide symbol right there, but I didn't do that. So to make 1 show up here, I need to show it as 1 divided by 1, right? I guess, you know what I could do is leave that part blank, and I would just have 28 to the 1. I could do that. So I've got 28 to the 1. So 28 is 28 to the 1, but I need to show that in the numerator. So that says 1 divide by 28 once. Dividing by 28 once is represented with an exponent of -1. Okay, it's represented as an exponent of -1. And if ever you don't find the number in the drop-down list, you can just type in the number that you think it should be. Okay, so, and then what's the answer to that? Well, what exponent do I put on 28 to make 28 to the -1? It's going to be -1. So in these questions, you're going to see, you won't even be able to see it in screencast, but the drop down in front of the number, you can put a negative symbol. Okay, we know that's a negative symbol. And this is just going to be 1 over 1, right? It's just 1. In fact, I could just leave that blank, right? It's just 1. So the answer is -1, or -1 over 1, if you want to write it as a fraction. I know, I'm sorry, that's not great. But -1 is the answer. Okay, now, for this one, would you have to show all the work? In reality, no. If you had this question, you could right away write -1 on a test. Okay. All right, number 3, the final example for this page. So I have the logarithm of 1/5 to the base 625. First goal, get the bases the same. So take that 5 and turn it into base 625. How do I do that? Well, let's go to our chart. So I've got 625 here, 5 here. So 625, 5. So what do I do to 625 to turn it into a 5? Well, I have to go take the fourth root, which is, what exponent is fourth root? 1/4. Okay, so I've got the 1/4 exponent. Okay, so 625 to the positive 1 divided by 4. Okay, positive 1 divided by 4. Next, what we do is, what we're going to do next here is just look at that. So that is in the bottom. So there's division involved because it's in the denominator. So how do I write that in the numerator? To indicate there's division, I make the exponent negative. So it's going to be, ooh, that's kind of ugly. So I've got to type in there negative 1/4. Okay, negative 1/4. And I should make that a little bigger so you can see it. There we go. So what exponent do I put on 625 to make 625 to the negative 1/4? Negative 1/4. Okay, negative 1/4. So there's your answer. All right, folks, pause, rewind as you go through this, as you went through it, or go back over, pause, rewind as you need to. Okay, and now you'll be able to do set B. Good luck.